Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Throne of Seal 2 Bright Moon in the Sky episode number 1 based on novel. So let's start. A shrill scream sounded in a luxurious and quaint room. I'm not going to give birth, it hurts so much. Long Lei, you kill 1,000 swords. It's not enough to plant one, but you can plant 2 for my old lady at once, it hurts me to death. Wife, come on, wife, you are the best. Yes, it's okay, just bite my arm hard, and it doesn't hurt at all. Master Long, madam, you shouldn't be here to give birth to a child, you should go out quickly. Granny Wen urged eagerly. Fart, if he dares to go out, my mother won't give birth. I'll bite you to death, ah. The shrill scream seemed to be echoing in the nearby 10 miles and 8 streets. Gradually, the screams began to weaken. Wife, come on, the first one comes out, victory is in sight. Hey, the one in the back, don't kick your brother. Why are you so anxious? Wenpo, the second one comes out first, right? Urgently the sound echoed continuously in the room. Wow wow wow. The loud cry of the baby resounded through the room, and the first one was finally born. Long Lei, you promise me, the emerald bracelet, don't forget to buy. The wife said weakly. Buy the transparent ones that are all green. Okay, the old mother will work hard, here, give birth to the second. After a moment. Wow wow wow. The same loud and clear, the little baby who looked exactly like the first one also came out. Congratulations, Mr. Long, you are still a son. Twin young masters. You and your wife are really lucky. What? No daughter? Long Lei's eyes widened. Long Lei, what do you mean? His wife's voice was broken and she almost sat up. Son is fine too, son is good, yes, son is good. Long Lei hurriedly comforted him. There was another burst of chaos and the room finally became quiet. 2 little babies who look exactly the same lie side by side next to their mother. Looking at his wife's pale face, Long Lei was full of distress. It's all these 2 little things, it's really hard work for you, baby. His wife gave him a blank look, hooked her fingers, and tugged at his sleeve. Does it hurt? I wasn't serious just now. She said softly. It doesn't hurt, even if it hurts, can it be compared with your childbirth? What is more painful than you women's childbirth? The woman chuckled, and gave him another look, but there was a bit of tenderness in her eyes. Let's give our baby a name. Long Lei nodded quickly, and said, our family names have to use double characters, just like my sister and I. Her name is Longsheng, and I am Long Lei. I had already thought of a name, but I didn't expect you to. It gave me 2 births at once. What do you want to call it? My wife asked curiously. Long Lei said proudly, my son, he will definitely be a generation of strong men who are domineering. Just take the word, ba, what do you think? The wife murmured, Longba? Repeated words, Long Barber? Long Lei said excitedly, that's right. But he didn't notice that his wife's face became gloomy. Then does our other child take a hemp character? Why? Long Mama, doesn't it sound good? Long Lei hasn't reacted yet. Slap. The wife barely supported her body, and slapped Long Lei's hand. Fart you, do you call your son Barber? Are you stupid? Long Barber, Long Mama, thank you for thinking it out. Long Lei realized that he was in pain, and his expression suddenly became a little embarrassed. I didn't think about that. But, Long Mama was started by you, not me. You still dare to shirk your responsibility? A long time. The couple thought of more than a dozen names, but none of them were. Wife was already too angry to speak. Go, open the window to get some air, the old lady is about to suffocate to death. Hey, you just gave birth, so don't catch a cold. It's summer, why is it cold? Can't you drive it? Okay, I'll just drive, and I'll protect you from the wind. While speaking, Long Lei hurried to the window and opened it. In order to prevent his wife from catching cold, he stood in front of the window and used his body to block the actually muggy night. He looked up, he happened to see a bright moon hanging high in the sky. Honey, I thought of our child's name. Tonight, the bright moon is in the sky. The book How You a Dankong is a promise made 10 years ago. The Doluor novel series is over. With this book, the Throne of God seal has an only this you like it. The new book is released, please collect it, and ask for chapter is updated every day at 5 p.m. The peace in the Holy Demon Continent has lasted for more than 1 year. Since the 6 great temples finally defeated the demon race more than 1 year ago, causing the demon race to gradually die out, the Temple Alliance has regained control of the entire hundreds of years of reproduction. There was the embryonic form of the current Temple Federation. Peace is the prerequisite for development. Human beings without war live a happy life. After the leaders of the 6 temples discussed together, the Temple Alliance decided to change the Temple Alliance to the Temple Federation. The federal government is composed of 2 of the temple is composed of 6 temple powerhouses, who are mainly responsible for the military of the federation and participate in important other part is the federal government composed of the chief executives of the 36 provinces divided into the federation. They are mainly responsible for the daily operation of the federation, formulation of various policies, and participation in important 2 institutions supervise and help each other. The 36 federal provinces of the Great Temple all have certain autonomy, and the chief executives of the provinces are directly responsible to the federal. Federal government has a chief and 4 deputy chiefs. The deputy chief must be a former provincial chief executive, and the chief needs to be selected from among the deputy. It is the local provinces or the federal government. Elections are held every 10 years. The church is also composed of 36 church. Temple has 6 temple elders, which are selected by the temple itself and cannot be. The elders of the temple do not have a term of office, but the 6 temples conduct an assessment every 10 years to confirm whether they have the ability to continue to serve as the 6 temples. Cross-checks were conducted to ensure justice. Under the joint management of the 2 temples, the Federation of Temples has gradually emerged from the haze and trauma brought about by the demons and is thriving. The 1-year peace has also allowed the entire federation to prosper, and the people live and work in peace and contentment. The province of Ano is located in the central and western part of the Holy Demon Continent. The main city of the province, Tenglong City, is quite well known in the Federation. Tenglong City is rich in handsome men and beautiful. The Federation, it is known as Dongtianlan, and Dragon City is a tourist attraction in the Midwest. In a large house in Tenglong City, a boy who looked like 9 or 10 years old was walking tiptoe under the big agile eyes, looked around from time to time to make sure that no one noticed him, and then he got into a room. The boy had soft and natural eyebrows, big and bright eyes, a straight nose, and a smirk on his face. At this time, in the room he walked into, on the big bed, another boy was sleeping. You look closely, the 2 boys look exactly alike. The boy with a smirk on his face slowly came to the bed, took out a rubber ball filled with water from his arms, and hovered a foot above the sleeping boy's head. The smile on his face suddenly became thicker, and the next moment, he let go. "What? Long Kong Kong, I will fight with you." The gate of the house was open, and Long Lei Lei, who was wearing a clean white robe and had a holy face, was walking into his mansion accompanied by a tall and beautiful woman. "Director Hu, then I'll leave it to you. The 2 boys in my family are usually very well behaved, and they just reached their age. Let's see which temple they can be recognized by." The beautiful woman smiled and said, "Master Dragon Palace, you are welcome. Your 2 young masters must be young geniuses with outstanding talents. I guess all the main halls are eager to accept them. Actually, I am curious, why don't you just let them go? How about they join the priest's branch?" Long Lei Lei coughed to cover up his embarrassment and almost prevented my wife from saying this. He still clearly remembered that his wife said with disdain a few days ago, "What's the use of a pastor? I can't even heal my own waist." "Long Kong Kong, don't run away. Bah, you're a bastard if you don't run away." Long Lei Lei's eyes are wide open. These 2 little bastards. The son is a bastard. What is the father, just about to curse? Swoosh! A black shadow had already arrived in front of him. What Long Lei Lei realized subconsciously was a flash. Although he is a priest, he has strong mental power, and it is not a problem to make predictions. Snapped. Ouch! A scream came from the side. When Long Lei Lei turned his head to look, what he saw was a slipper slipping off the face of Deputy Director Hu, leaving a black shoe print. Long Dang Dang, Long Kong Kong, the angry roar echoed in the Dragon Mansion in an instant. 10 minutes later. The 2 boys who looked exactly the same covered their buttocks and had red eyes. They both bowed deeply to Deputy Director Hu, who had already washed his face. "Auntie, I'm sorry, Auntie, we were wrong." The corner of Deputy Director Hu's mouth twitched slightly. "It's nothing, you didn't mean it either." Long Lei Lei's face was stern, and when he was about to speak, he felt a pain in his arm. He turned his head and looked at his wife, who was standing beside him with plain face but still stunning beauty. He coughed and said, "Go back to your room, without me allowed, not allowed to leave the house." Long Dang Dang and Long Kong Kong looked at each other. Long Dang Dang's eyes were angry, and Long Kong Kong's eyes were provocative. "Go? Who dares? Who is? Go out." "Okay, Dad." Seeing the 2 sons walking out in a hurry, Long Lei Lei said to Deputy Director Hu with a smile on his face, "Director Hu, I'm really sorry, these 2 boys are usually very well behaved. Today don't know how crazy this is. What do you want for dinner? I'll let them prepare it." Hu Na stood up, glanced at Ling Shui beside Long Lei Lei, forced a smile, and said, "No, no. I won't bother you. Don't worry, I will make arrangements for the 2 children. Arrange for them to go to the major temples for testing as soon as possible." Ling Shui smiled and said, "Don't. Director Hu, you are here, you have to finish your meal before leaving. My 2 brats still count on you." Huene shook her head and said, Master Dragon Palace said before that my sister-in-law is not here and no one cooks at home, so I plan to come to help. Now that my sister-in-law is back, there is no need for me to stay, don't bother me. You guys. I'll go first. As she spoke, she nodded politely to the two and walked out. Long Lei was dumbfounded when he heard this, and almost instantly, he felt a burst of murderous aura around him. Huene, you, the next moment, Long Lei's ears were already grabbed by Ling Shui. At this time, Huene, who had already reached the door, curled her lips, a courageous man deserves it. Long Lei, tell me clearly. Why did you bring the vixen back when I was not at home? Ah. Wife, listen to my explanation. How dare I? You are resting at home today, don't I know? Don't listen to her nonsense. You are not at home, how dare I bring a woman back? What's more, there are two sons at home. At this moment, two little heads poked in from the outside. Long Kong Kong said, Mom, Dad originally gave me and my brother 20 copper coins to go out and play. At that time, I felt that something was wrong, so we sneaked back. Long Dang Dang, finally, Dad brought a woman back. Mom, you said I threw away shoes, right? Our family can only have one mistress. We have grown up, and we will help you protect our home. You two little bastards. Long Lei was furious. The two sons ran away in an instant. Long Lei, who do you call a bastard? It doesn't matter that you are a bastard, you dare to slander my mother. I will fight you. Ah, my wife, I was wrong. Outside the door, Long Dang Dang and Long Kong Kong looked at each other, and Long Kong Kong said in a low voice, Who told him to spank our butts just now, but it seems that this time it's a bit harsh. What should we do? Go out and avoid it? Long Dang Dang gave his younger brother a cold look, let's go. Slap. As he spoke, he had already slapped his younger brother on the back of the head, and his hair was still wet. Long Dang Dang, you dare to hit me on the head. I hate other people hitting me on the head. Snapped. You wait for me. Soaring Dragon City, a branch of the Magic Temple. Early in the morning, Huene had been waiting the deputy director of the Tinglong City Government Affairs Department. She has quite strong contacts in this city. It didn't take long before a luxurious carriage arrived. On the carriage was engraved with the exclusive badge of the priest's temple. The badge exuded a faint golden color. The pattern of the badge was a pair of palms facing each other. The palms were concave, with its smells of holiness, kindness, and prayer. The carriage stopped, and it was Long Lei who got out of the car first. When he saw Huene, he immediately greeted him with a smile on his face. Director Hu, you came so early, we should be the first to wait. You are right. Huene snorted, stop talking about these useless things in the future, and deal with your tigress if you have the ability. Ahem. Long Lei coughed awkwardly, turned to the carriage and shouted, You two little bastards, hurry up and get down. In the car, Long Dang Dang and Long Kong Kong finally got off. Dad, my brother said he didn't want to go. After getting off the car, Long Dang Dang immediately complained. I didn't. Long Kong Kong glared at his twin brother with glaring eyes. Be quiet, both of you. You have to go whether you like it or not. Listen to what Aunt Hu said later, do you hear me? If you continue to make trouble. Long Lei showed a gentle smile on his face, smiling looking at the two brothers, he said, I will send you two to the military training in the barracks, and look for the instructor from last time. When the two brothers heard this, they couldn't help shivering in Lingling. According to the regulations of the Temple Federation, one must be 10 years old to be admitted to the temple. The age of 10 is a child's happy childhood, and he is not allowed to practice, which puts pressure on There are other ways for many families who are interested in making their children better in the future, such as sending them to the military camp to experience life. Brothers Long Dang Dang and Long Kong Kong have been sent there 3 times, each time it is absolutely painful. Long Dang Dang's laziness when he was a child has been completely changed. Long Kong Kong was always restless, but when it comes to the military camp, the two brothers all change face. Okay, don't scare the child. It's almost time, Dang Dang, Kong Kong, you come with me. Huene looked at this handsome boy who looked exactly the same with gentle eyes, and couldn't help thinking in her heart, if this is my son how nice it would be. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but give someone a hard look. Long Lei shuddered, and hurriedly smiled apologetically, then I will trouble you, N.A. Director Hu. Although Long Lei is the deputy head of the priest branch of Tinglong City, the Federation clearly stipulates that different temples need to maintain an isolated relationship to ensure the independence of the fact. It is also for the mutual supervision of the major. Even if he is the deputy hall master, he cannot take his son to other temples for assessment. For his twin sons, he is actually very precious. When they are old, he is going to send them to the temples for testing to determine which profession they should choose when they enter the temple college in the future. Ling Xue is the summoner of the Temple of Soul, but she is most interested in the profession of magician, so she asked Long Lei Lei to give priority to sending her two sons to the Temple of Magic for testing. If she can succeed, then naturally is the best choice. Following Hu Na into the Magic Temple, there were already staff from the Magic Temple in gorgeous magic robes coming to greet the Government Affairs Hall. The major temples are still very polite. After all, the Government Affairs Department manages people's livelihood, and many basic resources of the major temples are allocated by the Government Affairs Department of the city where they are located. Long Dangdang and Long Kongkong looked around the Magic Temple curiously. The whole of the Magic Temple felt a bit strange to them. The air here seemed to be different from the outside world. There were statues of different colors around them. It looks a bit like a human being, but not quite, because these statues are thinner than humans, and there are wings behind them. Aunt Hu, what are these? Long Kongkong asked curiously, not admitting to life at all. Hu Na said, elements are enshrined in the Magic Temple. Afterwards, you will conduct assessments, one of which requires the approval of elemental spirits, and the other is a test of your innate magic and spiritual power. The combination of the two results will determine is it suitable to be a magician? Long Kongkong curled his lips and said, it's boring. Hu Na asked curiously, don't you want to be a magician? Then which temple do you like? Long Kongkong said lazily, I don't like them very much. If you have to choose one, the priest's temple seems to be better. My father often said that their priest's temple is full of beautiful women. Hu Na couldn't help crying and laughing. What did your father teach you? It's really good. She turned her head and looked at Long Dangdang, who hadn't spoken yet, and looked a little reserved. You an elder brother. What about you? Which temple do you like? Long Dangdang puffed up his chest and said, I will listen to my mother. Mom likes magicians, so I will be a magician. Long Kongkong curled his lips, a sycophant. Long Dangdang slapped him on the head. Long Dangdang, I'll fight with you. Long Kongkong was about to pounce viciously. Okay, the assessment is about to begin. Hu Na hurriedly stood between the two of them, but she didn't notice that there was an extra foot at some point. She stumbled, staggered and nearly fell. Long Dangdang and Long Kongkong looked at each other, and they exchanged eyes for a moment and were about to do something again, when suddenly, they felt a strange pressure. I turned my head to look. I saw a magician wearing a red magic robe walking over. The invisible pressure came from this person. Are these two children going to be tested? Come with me. The red-robed magician nodded to Hu Na. Hu Na had already stood firm at this time, but she looked a little embarrassed, and she couldn't help but feel helpless. These two children looked really cute when they were honest, but it was really a headache when they got into a fight. I'm sorry, Magister Guoshu. You are welcome, Director Hu. After exchanging pleasantries, the Magister named Guoshu led Long Dangdang and Long Kongkong to the Magic Temple. Hu Na didn't keep up. She was just an ordinary person. Both the federal government and the government affairs departments of various places required that the managers of government affairs should not be born in the temple. The two brothers were taken into a huge room. As soon as they entered the door, they were attracted by the magnificent golden patterns on the pattern that seemed to be painted on it exuded a faint light, and those lights were more like life, rhythmic from time to time, changing into a strange brilliance. The entire room is circular, surrounded by a circle of sculptures, just like the ones in the outer hall. There are more than a dozen of them. Which of you two will come first? Magister Guoshu walked to the center of the room and stood still, looking at the two brothers peacefully. I'll come first. Never a stage fright, Long Kongkong raised his hand without hesitation. Okay, you go to the center of the light pattern on the ground. Magister Guoshu guided. Long Kongkong did as he said, and turned his head to look at his brother proudly, as if saying, let you see if I am good or not. Magister Guoshu said in a deep voice, calm down, don't move around. Oh. Long Kongkong then turned to look at the Magister, his eyes still full of curiosity. The next moment, the lines of light on the ground began to emit more and more powerful rays of light. Immediately, Long Kongkong only felt a burst of warmth all over his body, making him feel indescribably comfortable. Standing at Long Dangdang's position, what he saw was that the statues around the room were emitting light spots of various colors. Ascension, enveloping Long Kongkong's body. Long Kongkong's face was full of satisfaction, and he couldn't help saying, brother, why do I feel like I'm taking a bath? Magister Guoshu was also slightly taken aback. He had never seen anyone who could speak while being recognized by the magic elemental spirit. The whole process lasted for a full minute. Magister Guoshu kept looking at the statues of the surrounding elemental elves. However, until the lights on the ground were all extinguished, none of the statues responded. There is no affinity with elemental elves. Magister Guoshu said in a deep voice. It's very comfortable, Grandpa, what do you mean? Long Kongkong asked curiously. Magister Guoshu sighed lightly, and said, without the affinity of elemental spirits, it means that no elemental spirits recognize you and can fuse with you. Of course, there is another possibility that the elemental attributes you are compatible with are not among them. But this possibility is very small. The magic temple has basically included all the elemental attributes in the world. Long Kong Kong understood, that is to say, I'm not suitable to be a magician. Seeing the joyful expression on the child's face, Guoshu was taken aback. What's going on? It was the first time he saw a child who didn't want to be at the 6 temples. The 2 strongest temples are the Magic Temple and the Night Temple. Compared with the strictness of the Night Temple, the unpredictable magic and magnificent magic are undoubtedly more popular among young people. We also need to test your magical spiritual power. If the magical spiritual power is very high, it means that you may indeed have unknown attributes. While speaking, the Magister Guoshu came to Long Kong Kong with a crystal ball, motioning him to put his hand on it. Long Kong Kong put his palm on the crystal ball curiously. The next moment, there seemed to be a suction force coming from the crystal ball. Long Kong Kong only felt that it seemed to be absorbing something on his body. Immediately afterwards, the surface of the crystal ball lit up faintly. Halo. The light was not strong, and it soon returned to calm, and a number appeared on the surface of the crystal ball. 9? Magister Guoshu's face suddenly showed disappointment. He knew that the 2 children in front of him were the sons of the vice-master of the priest's temple, and he had some expectations in his heart. After all, the children of the strong had a much higher chance of having good talents. 9 is good or bad? Long Kong Kong asked curiously. The corner of Magister Guoshu's mouth twitched. The total score is 100. Long Kong Kong also attended the basic academy. His eyes widened. Failed? It's okay, I'm used to it. Indeed, he rarely passed. It's still a bit far from passing. Magister Guoshu coughed. Grandpa, you are so upright. Brother, it's your turn. Long Kong Kong curled his lips and walked down. Compared with his younger brother, Long Dang Dang was obviously a little nervous. Unlike Long Kong Kong, who was indifferent, he really liked the profession of a magician. He had seen magicians conjure magnificent magic. Also walking to the center of the aperture, Magister Guoshu did not return to his original position, handed him the crystal ball and said, you might as well test your magical power first. Okay. Long Dang Dang only felt that his palm was a little cold, and slowly stretched out his hand to cover the crystal ball. Magister Guoshu released his magic power to guide him. The next moment, Long Kong Kong, who was walking towards Long Dang Dang's position with his back to Magister Guoshu's direction, felt his back suddenly light up, and subconsciously turned around. He opened his mouth wide and saw that the crystal ball between Long Dang Dang and Magister Guoshu was blooming with brilliance. The whole crystal ball was shining like a small sun, illuminating the whole room. What's even more shocking is that without the mobilization of the Magister Guoshu, the statues of the elements around them lit up by them. 7 statues radiated radiance and became transparent in an instant. The radiance surged in the air, emitting circles of halos to envelop Long Dang Dang in the center. Magister Guoshu's eyes were already rounded. The light lasted for a few minutes before gradually subsiding. Magister Guoshu couldn't help but swallowed a mouthful of saliva, staring fixedly at the crystal ball in his hand. The next moment, he said in a trembling voice, 83, the innate magic and spiritual power 83. When he said the second 83, his voice became uncontrollably high-pitched. Long Kong Kong murmured, passed? He actually passed? That's not right. In normal exams, my brother is not much better than me. Originally, he didn't feel much when he was only 9, but when he saw that his brother was 9 times his size, he was still a little irritated. Long Dang Dang immediately turned to look at his younger brother, and Long Kong Kong gave him a thumbs up. Congratulations, you have passed the exam for the first time in your life. Magister Guoshu murmured, Brother Dragon, is this the legendary Brother Dragon? Are the talents of the twins concentrated in one person? His voice was not low, and the 2 brothers could hear it clearly. Long Kong Kong was furious. Old man, if you mock me again, I'll pee in your place. Long Lei Lei and Ling Shui looked at their 2 sons, looked at each other from time to time, and were speechless for a while. Long Dang Dang and Long Kong Kong were personally sent out of the Tinglong City branch of the Magic Temple by the Magister Guo. Old Magister held Long Lei Lei's hand and talked excitedly for a long time, and even said that Long Dang Dang could skip the Temple Academy and join the Magic Temple directly, and he must keep this genius. Long Lei Lei himself is the deputy head of the Tinglong branch of the Priest's Temple, so of course he knows what 83 innate magic power is, a genius among geniuses. However, the difference between him and Guoshu's reaction is, why is the other son only 9? This deviation is 2. I went home and told Ling Shui. Ling Shui was also dumbfounded. It was all born by you. Why is there such a big gap? Long Lei Lei murmured. What do you mean? The surname is Long. Ling Shui was furious, with her hands on her hips angrily reprimanded. Long Dang Dang said faintly, Mom, you have a wide range of attacks. Ling Shui snorted coldly, pulled Long Kong Kong in front of her, and hugged her in her arms. Baby son, it's okay, isn't it just magical innate spiritual power 9? It's nothing. It means that magic, priests, and summoners are not suitable. It's just you, we still have 3 halls to choose from. Long Lei Lei hurriedly said, that's right, the innate magical spiritual power is not good. Generally speaking, the innate internal spiritual power should be good. Kong Kong, it's okay, you must be the best. Long Kong Kong was a little suffocated by Ling Shue's embrace, and he managed to break free. Dad, Mom, I'm fine. Isn't it good to have poor talent? From now on, you can talk about me fishing. Long Lei Lei was stunned, and slapped it away, but was blocked by Ling Shue. Ling Shue said angrily, don't hit my son. What Kong Kong said is angry, can't you hear it? There is nothing more sad than heartbreak, son. Don't be sad. Long Kong Kong said dumbfoundedly, I'm not sad. No, you have. Ling Shue hugged her son with a distressed expression. Long Lei Lei rolled his eyes and said, let's not go to the temple for now, let's test the innate inner spiritual power at home. Maybe there will be surprises? While talking, he ran out quickly, and after a while, he came back with a crystal that exuded like gold. Come on, son, let me test your innate inner spiritual power. While speaking, a golden light flashed in Long Lei Lei's hand, and the golden crystal had already floated towards Long Kong Kong. The golden light flickered, enveloping Long Kong Kong. Long Kong Kong was still a little dazed, and faint golden light spots suddenly floated around his body. Both Long Lei Lei and Ling Shue were watching intently, their eyes flickering, but the golden light spot was only faint, and there was not much. Hearts of the husband and wife who were familiar with the inner spiritual power test suddenly sank. Sure enough, the next moment, those golden light spots had recondensed into the stone in Long Kong Kong's hand. Long Kong Kong only felt a slight shock in his palm, and a number 11 appeared on the surface of the golden stone. Innate inner spiritual power, 11? Long Lei Lei's voice couldn't help being a bit bitter. Innate magical spiritual power is used to test whether one can become a magician, priest, and summon a talent, while innate internal spiritual power is used to test whether one can become a knight, warrior, and assassin talent. 19111. What this means is very clear in their hearts. Ordinary people may not even be as good as most ordinary people. With such a talent, no matter how hard they practice, there is almost no possibility of breaking through the 5th level in the future. Long Kong Kong blinked his eyes and looked at his parents. Does this mean that I don't have to go to Temple College? He had heard that the study in Temple College is very difficult, and he has long been afraid of difficulties. Emotions, seeing that his talent is not good, but secretly happy in his parents are strong professionals, and the family conditions are good. Although he is young, he has always had no ambitions. He lives a comfortable life every day. How wonderful it is to be able to sleep until he wakes up naturally. Long Dang Dang took the golden stone for testing inner spiritual power from his younger brother, and Ling Xue rushed forward quickly, hugging his youngest son in his arms. Baby, don't be sad, it's okay. Innate spiritual power isn't everything, and it's not like in history that people who broke through the limit of this talent became strong. It's okay, don't be sad. And Mom will protect you well. Being hugged by his mother, Long Kong Kong had difficulty breathing, and he couldn't help but feel a little depressed. Did I show sadness, or should I be sad to win sympathy, and they won't be ashamed to scold me for not going to school, right? Hey. Long Lei Lei was about to step forward to comfort him, when suddenly, a dazzling golden light burst out, and the air in the living room seemed to become sticky in an instant. Long Lei Lei suddenly turned around to look, and saw that Long Dang Dang's palm holding the golden stone was erupting with brilliance, and the strong golden light instantly illuminated every detail of the entire hall. What is even more shocking is that even outside the hall, there are faint golden spots of light converging inward, and they all swarmed towards Long Dang Dang's was a fusion full of admiration, and Long Dang Dang's body was rendered somewhat transparent by these golden colors. No way? Long Lei Lei murmured. On the other side, Ling Shue and Long Kong Kong also attracted attention. Both Long Lei Lei and his wife understood that the intense golden light erupting from Long Dang Dang's body at this moment was by no means something that could be achieved with less than 50 innate spiritual. Lei Lei's own innate magical spiritual power was 55, and Ling Shue was similar to if the inner spiritual force can exceed 40, it can be called a 70, there is a possibility of cultivating to the peak of the profession. With a sound of poof, thousands or hundreds of golden lights burst out from Long Dang Dang's fair skin became as translucent as crystal at this time, and the faint golden light flowed, rendering his whole body circular golden halo gathered in the middle of Long Dang Dang's chest and shrank inward, finally turning into a ball of golden light the size of a soybean grain. Long Dang Dang's own feeling is even more strange, he only feels that his whole body has a sense of transparency that connects the sky and the earth. Everything became crystal clear, including his heart, and his rich sacred breath is subtly improving. His original innate spiritual power is still rising, and Long Dang Dang himself seems to have grasped something, which only belongs to the law of light. The golden light surrounded Long Dang Dang's body and turned into a golden beam of light rising upwards. The brilliant golden color and the incomparably rich sacred aura made Long Lei Lei on the side stunned and felt extremely friendly. An innate spiritual power of is called an angel of light physique, an innate spiritual power of is called a divine blessing physique, and a physique with an innate spiritual power of more than is called a child of light. The body has the purest light physique and can use any light attribute weapons innately and is close to all light attribute monsters. So, can my son break through the 70s and possess the top talent? You know, his magical inner spiritual power has exceeded 80. If the spiritual power in the magic is over, it is called the elemental physique. Which element is recognized by that element? It is the elemental talent of that element. If it is more than, it is the elemental blessing physique. And if it is more than, it is the child of the Dang Dang is already in existence at the level of elemental blessing. Could it be said that the innate inner spiritual power is also powerful? The golden light finally began to gradually converge, and a vague figure gradually became clear on its surface. The golden stone shattered, and at the moment it shattered, a number also appeared in front of their eyes. 87. Long Lele's voice instantly became physique. Didn't know if there was such a talent in the headquarters of the Knights and Warriors Temple, but at least he had never seen such a talent in his lifetime. At this moment, he couldn't help breathing fast for the second time today. The first time was naturally when he knew that Long Dang was talented in magic, but at that time he didn't show much because of Long Kong Kong's poor talent, but at this moment, he really felt that his heartbeat was a little too fast. It's okay, baby, we don't envy him. Ling Shui's first reaction was to comfort the little son in her arms. Long Kong Kong said, who envies him? This is a good thing, my brother is excellent, so let him be excellent himself. With his hard work, wouldn't I just be able to catch fish? The golden light completely subsided. Long Lei grabbed the elder son's arm, feeling overwhelmed for a long time. God Seal Knight. Son, with your talent, you have a chance to become a God Seal Knight in the future. Originally, when he came out of the magic temple today, he was already very excited. He was ready to make his son a powerful magician. He was recognized by the 7 elements and selected at will. The innate magic power exceeded, Guoshu the Magister said that he will report the situation to the headquarters as soon as possible and will definitely give Long Dang Dang all the top resources and must train him as a future Dharma god. However, this innate internal spiritual power is even higher than the innate magical spiritual power. More importantly, the head of the 6 temples has always been the Knight's Temple, because the Knight Temple has the existence of the 6 God-sealed thrones. It is well known that the God-sealed Knights are the most powerful of the 6 and innate spiritual power of 87. There is absolutely a chance to touch the throne of the Divine Seal in the future and become the top in the world. All of a sudden, Long Lei couldn't help but feel that heaven and man were at war. How should such an excellent son choose? While patting Long Kong Kong's back to comfort him, Ling Xue looked at Long Lei with unfriendly eyes, thinking in her heart, could these 2 sons of hers really be the legendary Dragon Brothers and Mouse Brothers? She would rather her 2 sons have similar but common talents than to see such a situation where the palms and backs of their hands are full of all the fault of Long Lei. It's all because of his kind, which caused my 2 sons to turn against each other because of their talents. I have to say that as a woman, she has always had a lot of inner drama. Long Lei also looked at his youngest son at this time. What should we do? The gap between the 2 children is too great. One is so talented, the other is so. It's okay. I'm fine. My brother is so good, I'm happy for him. From now on, he will be the mainstay supporting our family, and our family will depend on my brother from now on. I believe that when my brother becomes stronger in the future, he will definitely do well. Covering me. Dad, Mom, you just leave all your family property to me in the future. Long Kong Kong finally broke free from his mother's embrace, and said with a smile. Ling Shui's eyes were blurred in an instant and she almost shed tears. This child is really too sensible. She has such poor talent, but she is still comforting her family. For a moment, mother's love surged out, and she hugged him again. In her arms, her eye circles were red. Long Lei was taken aback. He subconsciously remembered something. He was still very familiar with his youngest. These 2 boys are usually mischievous. This youngest son is especially naughty and truant from school is not a problem, and often drags Long Dang Dang into the water. School teachers later separated the 2 of them into different classes for basic education. Sure enough, Long Dang Dang's grades improved immediately, but Long Kong Kong remained the same. Therefore, he reacted immediately. This kid might not want to take advantage of the opportunity to fish. Dad, Mom. My brother, with his talent, can't he go to the Temple Academy? Long Dang Dang said suddenly. Ling Shui's eyes became sharp in an instant, and she glared at him, as if she was blaming him and irritating her younger brother at any time. Long Lei sighed, it's hard, even if I force him into the academy, I'm sure I won't get any good resources. Then let's not go, I don't want to be the last one. Long Kong Kong said hastily. Long Dang Dang glanced at him. Compared with his father, he is undoubtedly the one who knows his brother best. The twins are somewhat connected, and he can read a lot from Long Kong Kong's. Can there be pain in his eyes? It's all about being proud. Okay, the meaning of what I said just now is also very obvious. I am not talented, and my parents will love me a lot in the future. I will leave things like hard training and glory to my family to Mike and lie flat. Long Lei sighed, and also had a frowning. He worried that if the gap between the 2 sons is too large, it will affect the mental health of the younger son. Dad, Mom, I have an idea. Long Dang Dang said seriously. What do you think? Long Lei Lei asked. Long Dang Dang said, Dad, if I go to the Tinglong branch of the Knights Temple to test the innate inner spiritual power, how do you think the Knights Temple will react? Long Lei Lei was stunned. You want to cause a fight between the Magic Temple and the Night Temple, and see which one of them gives better training resources? Long Dang Dang shook his head. He turned his head and looked at Long Kong Kong, who was feeling something and was looking at him, with a playful smile on his face. I mean, when I went to the Knights Temple for the test, my name was Long Kong Kong. In an instant, Long Kong Kong's pupils dilated, but Long Lei Lei's and Ling Shui's eyes lit up with dazzling brilliance at the same time. Thanks to the leaders, Zhe 11, Wu Bingji, and Longsheng Ching Chen. This video will end here.